Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Abby and today I'm back for a Q&A video. I have been asked for a while to do one of these, so I decided to finally do one. It took me a little while to get, I feel like, enough questions to make a decent video, but I feel like I have enough now, so we're gonna hop right into it and answer some of your questions. A lot of you asked about daycare. I just have my questions here on my phone, so I'm gonna be looking down at that some, but I had a lot of questions about daycare. So I'm just gonna, a lot of them ask how did I start, what inspired me, how long have I been doing this. So I will just kind of give you the whole recap on how I started and stuff. So in August, I'll have been doing this for 7 years. So in 2016, the summer of 2016, I was, I guess, nannying. I was watching, I always just call it babysitting, but I guess I watched them 4 or 5 days a week. I watched these twin infants. They were about 6 months old when I started watching them. And I was just talking to their dad one day and talking about I guess I'll probably just go back and sub. I had been subbing for 2 years because I do have a teaching degree. Sorry if this is shaky. The thing my camera's on is a little shaky, so I'm gonna try to sit still. But so I had been subbing, and I don't know, we were just talking about stuff before he left for work, and he's like, you should open a daycare in your house. And I had never even thought of that. He had a friend whose mom did it, and he was telling me a little bit about it, and so I was like, that's a really good idea, because I've been babysitting kids since I was 11, 12, I don't even know, pretty young. And I had little brothers that were born when I was 13 and 15, so I helped take care of them a lot, so I have a ton of experience watching kids. So I looked into how to start an in-home daycare online, and then I bought a house in August. It was was it August? Yes, it was August. So it was a kind of a whirlwind thing. I closed on my house on a Friday. We moved everything in. I went to the beach the next morning at 6 a.m. for a week. I got back the following Saturday, and daycare opened on Monday. I started off with, I believe, 5 kids on my roster, and at that point I could only have 3 kids at one time because I wasn't officially licensed yet. I hadn't had a home inspection or anything, and where I live I can have up to 3 kids without being licensed. So I only had 3 kids a day, but I had 5 total kids. I had 3 kids who I watched that previous school year. It was Chatham. Chatham's been in a lot of my videos. She's my buddy. She's 14 now, but at the time she was 7-ish, yeah. And her brothers were 3, her twin brothers. So I had them, and Chatham would just come after school. The boys would come, and then I had a little girl who was a friend of the dad I had been nannying for in the summers, a daughter of a friend, I don't know. So she came, and then the other little girl was a daughter of a teacher I had in high school. I was subbing at the high school where I went to school and was just talking to her about, and she wasn't sure what she was gonna do. Sent her daughter to preschool because the person who had been watching her wasn't going to be anymore, so I reached out to her because I remembered that conversation we had had earlier in the school year, and she sent her to me. And she's had 2 more daughters since then. I've had all 3 of them, and the other little girl that came, she has had 2 brothers since then, and I've had all 3 of them in my daycare over these last 7 years, which has been super special and really cool. So I started off with 5 kids, and then I slowly just added more, and eventually I got to the point where I had 6 kids 5 days a week. And yeah, that's pretty much how I got started. Like I said, I've always been watching kids, and that's kind of what inspired me to do this. I have a teaching degree, and after subbing for 2 years, it's just not something I want to do. I like to essentially be my own boss and do my own thing. I have a lot of people in my family who are entrepreneurs, started their own businesses, so I feel like that's in my blood a little bit to do my own thing and have my own business. So that's what inspired me to go that route. And like I said, I love kids, and I feel like that's what I was meant to do. I feel like God made me to take care of kids, and I just feel like that's my talent. So I wanted to use that in a way to give parents a place for their kids to be safe and cared for, and a place that is more like a home. I hope parents feel like this is a second home for their kids instead of just sending them to a daycare center or a facility, which those aren't bad, but some parents do just prefer that homey feeling, and that's always been my goal, to give parents another home to send their kiddos while they have to go to work. Let's see, another question was, so I already answered how long I've been doing it. It's been 7 years, and it's asked how long will I do it? And honestly, I don't really know the answer to that. If I could lay out a perfect plan for my life, I would love to stop doing it by the time I had my own kids. But if financially that's something I still need to do, that's fine. I'll keep doing it because it would be fairly easy to just have my kids be here too. I feel like I have enough experience to handle that. Yeah, so that's something I can't answer, but we will see what happens in the future. Someone asked how many kids I am licensed to watch, and I can watch 6 kids at one time. I can only have 2 infants in the house at one time, and that includes if I would have my own kids, but otherwise my kids don't count in the ratio. The only way they count is if they're an infant. So if I had an infant, I can only have 1 other infant, but otherwise my own kids would not count in the ratio. And yeah, I can have 6 at one time, and basically, and you can only have, there's like this weird thing, you can only have a combination of 5 infant and toddlers. So once you hit 3, you're no longer a toddler. So basically I have to have at least 1 kid a day that's 3 or older, and that's never really been an issue for me. So yeah, so those are the rules as far as licensing and how many kids I can have. And this is my last daycare question. So someone asked how I set my daycare prices, and what I did when I first started 7 years ago, I called a couple daycare facilities in the town that I live and just asked. I kind of just pretended I was a mom. I was like, hey, I was just inquiring like how much you charge for an infant for daycare or whatever, and they told me their prices, and I just based my prices off of them. And then this past year, I've changed my prices a little bit over the years. I used to charge 2 different rates if a kid was under 3 versus over 3, but then I changed that probably 3 or 4 years ago to just be 1 flat rate. And I do give a little bit of a discount for families. So if you have like more than 1 kid here, I give a little bit of a discount for that, just to help the parents out a little bit. This past year, I decided I needed to raise my prices a little bit, so I did increase my prices by $5 a day starting in June of this year. Just because with, you know, there's rising cost of living and stuff, and I feel like I didn't really want to, like I felt guilty for doing it, but I think I was talking to my mom about it, and she was like, listen, people get raises at their jobs, so you have to give yourself a raise because you're your own boss, right? So I was like, okay. And every parent was totally fine with it. I wrote a little letter and explained to them my reasoning, and everybody was fine with it. So it worked out great, and I'm so thankful for all my daycare parents. They have been amazing. All of the ones I've had that are here now or have been here in the past, I feel truly blessed because they have all been amazing, and I really have not had a lot of issues. And anytime I did have issues with a kid, like, I don't know, there's been a couple instances, and parents have been really understanding about that. So yeah, I just feel really lucky with the people God has put in my life and brought to my daycare. And yeah, it's been a really great ride the last 7 years, so we'll see how many more I end up doing it. Who knows, but we're gonna keep chugging along. That ends all my daycare questions. So the next one I have on my list is, what are your thoughts on the 75 Soft program? And I Googled that this morning because I wasn't totally sure what all that entailed. I completed the 75 Hard program 2 years ago, and my thoughts on that is like, it might be fine for a challenge, but I felt like in some ways it did put me on a good path and taught me some things, but in another way it also completely derailed me, and I had to like rewire my thinking for 2 years too. So I feel like I pulled some good from it, like proving that I can be consistent with things, like proving to myself that I'm able to be consistent and I'm able to do this. I'm able to drink a gallon of water a day. I am able to successfully calorie count. Speaking of water, I'm thirsty, sorry. So whenever I recommitted to calorie counting last month, I was like, you've done it. You can do it. It is possible. You proved that. So just do it in a way that's sustainable. And with 75 Soft, I think it, if you're with 75 Hard, that is 2 45 workouts a day, 2 45-minute workouts a day. One has to be outside, gallon of water a day, read 10 pages of a self-help type nonfiction book, no alcohol, and follow some sort of diet plan. And then 75 Soft, from what I read in my quick Google search, 1 45-minute a day. I think it's still a gallon of water. I think it's just to eat healthy and only alcohol on special occasions maybe. So if I'm wrong on that, I'm sorry, but it seems like a lesser version of 75 Hard, and it still would be a challenge. So I feel like if you need a challenge to kind of push yourself and give yourself a boost, go for it. But also remember, if you are looking to create healthy habits or lose some weight or whatever, you need to do it in a way that is sustainable for the rest of your life. Like I saw a TikTok the other day that said, whatever diet plan you're doing, whatever workout you're doing, ask yourself, can you do this for 10 years? And I could not do 75 hard for 10 years. I don't think I could even do 75 soft for 10 years. I can't fit in a 45-minute workout every day. I mean, I could, but like, I don't want to. So I feel like what I'm doing now, and I asked myself this question when I watched the video, I was like, can I calorie count like this for 10 years? And I feel like I definitely could. I am really loosely calorie counting. I'm being accurate, but I'm not overthinking it. I'm eating what I want, and it's working out. It's been good, so I feel like I could do that. So I don't know, just be careful with it. Do it if you need a challenge, but make sure if you're really trying to change your lifestyle, it's going to be trial and error, but try different things and see what fits into your life and what you can do long term. The beginning of the year, I was getting up, even before the beginning of the year, I was getting up at 4:45 in the morning and doing my Bible time, going to the gym. Like, it was fine, but I was exhausted all day, and I was always stressing out about getting enough sleep and getting to bed early, and I felt like I couldn't enjoy my evenings, so I was like, well, I have to get back home by 8 o'clock so I can fall asleep by 9. And I just wasn't like enjoying life, and I was like, okay, I can't do this forever. We're gonna have to revamp all of this and make a change. So I'll jump into another question that kind of goes along with this. What's my current workout routine? So ideally, I was wanting to get up and do 30-minute bike pedals before work, and that would mean I'd have to get up at 6. And for some reason, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning for me is like, I don't know, I can't do it. And it seems silly because I was getting up at 4:45, but getting up at 6 a.m. is like the end of the world right now. So I think I'm going to start setting my alarm for like 6:45 and not worry about my bike pedals, but I am going to try to either do a lifting type of workout or my bike pedals at least once a day. Like, I'm probably not gonna get my bike pedals in today. I should have done them this morning, but whatever. But I am gonna try to do 2 like strength or lifting type exercises a week, and I did do 2 this week. I did it on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I have just like a little workout I created in my phone, on my notes app. I went to workout classes a couple years ago, so I know some things to do. I just have 10-pound dumbbells, and I use those, or I just use like my body weight. Like, I'll do like push-ups and stuff. Maybe I'll do a video on the actual workout moves I do once I kind of settle in and perfect them a little bit. I'll go into more of that, but yeah, it's just for the one routine I do, it's like arms and legs and maybe some chest and shoulders. I can't really remember the exact muscles, but it's, I have 7 workouts I do, and usually I do like 10 reps, 4 sets, so I'm doing like 40 total of each exercise, and it takes me about 30 minutes to do it. So I'm doing like a 30-minute strength exercise, and then I have another set of exercises I did the second day. It's more like ab and core exercises, and that took me about 25-ish minutes. So I feel like if I can get into a routine of doing that twice a week, that's my goal for right now. So it's not solidified as my workout routine, but that's my goal for a workout routine. So I did it last week, so hopefully I can do it this week. And I would like to just do my bike pedals on the days I don't work out, or go for a walk with a friend or something, but it's way too hot for that right now. So yeah, that's my current workout routine. All right, my favorite go-to snack. I feel like this changes all of the time, so I'll just go through snacks that I'm eating right now. The Alani Nu protein bars, really good. Peanut butter is my favorite, peanut butter and jelly, then caramel, and then the Rocky Road's good, but I probably won't buy it again. But I will probably buy the other 2 again. But those are like one of my favorite morning snacks right now. I like the Golden Graham cereal bars. The cheese Ritz crackers are really good right now. And I've also been, I don't know, it's summer and I'm hot, so I have like popsicles in the freezer. I have Bon Pops. I have Yasso bars. I have the cookie dough and the chocolate fudge brownie ones, and they're only like 100 calories for an ice cream bar, which is not bad. And also Snickers ice cream bars is something else I've been eating lately in the evening. They're about 180 calories, so they're not that bad. And also kettle corn. I've been loving the kettle corn. I was buying the Indiana Pop, and then I bought a different brand. I'm not sure if I'm gonna love it. I tried a little bit of it yesterday, but we'll see. I just was missing the kettle corn, and I go back and forth on this a lot. I'm trying to like find foods with less inflammatory oils and stuff, and the Indiana Pop I think had like canola oil in it or something. So I bought this other kind that doesn't, so we'll see, I don't know. But yeah, those are my go-to snacks lately. I also bought a box of chocolate fudge Pop-Tarts. that was something that I would binge a lot. So I was like, I'm just gonna see if I can handle it. And I had a pack for dessert last night. So it was like 400 calories and I enjoyed them. They were good, but I was still really hungry after I ate them. And like, it did not satiate my hunger at all. And I was like, dang, I didn't waste the 400 calories because it did taste good, but it just did not fill me up even like a bit. And I didn't eat anything else the rest of the night. I probably should have had something, but I don't know. I should have eaten fruit, but my head doesn't go there. But I didn't. I just made myself go to bed. But it was fine. But yeah, those are my favorite too. And I know those have bad oils in them. I'm trying to balance it out, and I'm trying to change things where I can and make it slow and steady. But I will never cut anything out 100% because, like I said, you have to do things that can sustain you over a lifetime, not just for quick fixes. Because quick fixes don't work in the long run. Like, if you lose weight with a quick fix, it's gonna come back. So, and like I said, I want to enjoy life, so I'm not going to cut out anything 100%. Okay, the next question, I was like hesitant, but I'm just going to go for it. I don't care. Do you use any dating apps, and do you have any funny stories? Guys, I have been on and off dating apps throughout most of my 20s and in my early 30s. I took all of last year, and when I say that, like, I'm not going on all these dates. Like, I get on them and I'll talk to like a guy or two like through messaging, and then most of the time I chicken out and don't even end up going on a date, or I'll go on a date or two and it just doesn't work out because, like, I don't know, I know what I want, and I don't know, I just don't want to waste my time if a guy doesn't meet what I want. And being a Christian, it is so hard to find a man of God who truly is a Christian. Like, it's easy to select Christian as your religion on an app, but I always look for other indicators of their faith on their profile, or I do not swipe right. That means, like, if you swipe right, you want to match with them. If there's no other indication of their faith on their profile, I do not swipe right. And you have to sift through a lot of guys to find ones that truly do. And then you I don't know, connect with guys that might work out, and then, I don't know, just other factors come in. So yeah, I've done dating apps a lot. I haven't dated a lot. I haven't gone on like a ton of dates. Just, it seems like nothing ever works out, and then I get overwhelmed, and then I get off the app for like 6 months, and then I'm like, oh, I'll get on and see, you know, I don't know. So I took all of 2022 though off from the dating apps. I just like had like a thing with the Lord. I was like, I'm gonna work on myself. I prayed about it a lot, and I was like, I'm just not gonna get on any dating apps in 2022. And I didn't, and I was like, if something happens organically, that's fine, but I just am not getting on the apps all year, and I didn't. And so in 2023, I got back on, and I did go on a date, and I don't know if this is a funny story. I guess you could look at it humorously. Like, I thought it was kind of annoying, but I'll tell you anyways. I went on this date with a guy, and he asked me what kind of music I like, and I was like, I don't know. It's like, here, just look at my music app on my phone, and you can see what stuff I listen to. And maybe that was too trusting or whatever, but he like looked at it for a minute, and then he set my phone down, and it was calling my mom. Like, he had called my mom. He got out of my music app, went into my phone app, and called my mother, and she answered the phone, and I was like, and I just like hung up on her. I think he said hello too whenever she said hello. Like, I don't know, I was just like taken aback by that. I was like, what? And I had kind of mentioned beforehand that I didn't really tell a lot of people. I think I told one friend that I was going on this date, maybe two, and so he like knew, like he knew my mom didn't know. He knew I didn't want her to know, and he still like crossed that boundary. And after, like, in the moment, I wasn't mad. I was like, oh, whatever. Like, I think he apologized. But as I thought about it more later, I was like, you know what? That was really, I think he was just trying to be funny. He wasn't trying to be mean, but like, that crossed the boundary, and I set a boundary in place, and you crossed that like that, and I don't like that. That's not okay. And there were other factors that I just knew like it wasn't gonna work out with him anyway, so whatever. I've gone on a couple dates since then, and I may or may not have a date coming up soon, so we'll see. But I guess I'll have to keep you guys posted if anything happens for real, but I don't know, we'll see. I'm not gonna say too much more about that, and I feel bad. I don't have any funny stories. Like I said, I've not gone on a ton of dates from the apps. Yeah, I can't think of anything funny, but that was the most like interesting thing that happened on a date, so there's that. Let's see. And this is the last question that I got. So it says, do you have any vacation plans for summer? And if you've watched, if you've been watching my channel, you saw I went to Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming in April. So that was already like my big trip for the year. That was pretty expensive. So for the summer, I'm not really doing any big trips. My mom and I might do a weekend trip to visit her friend in DC, and I'm hoping if we do that, we can go see like some museums and stuff, but we haven't gotten a confirmed date for that yet. And then the other thing I planned, Chatham and I are going to Michigan for a long weekend. We're gonna go from a Thursday to a Sunday. Now, if you've watched my channel for a long time, you know I had a daycare family who lived like behind me, so like around the block. Like our fence, we share a fence and like a little bit of a fence in our backyards. They had one daughter who started coming to my daycare, then they had a second daughter at the beginning of 2020, and the girls came to my daycare. I don't know if they came 4 or 5 days a week, I can't remember. I think 4 days a week, and they were my neighbors, and the parents were soccer coaches, so they had a lot of games and stuff in the spring and in the fall, so I would watch them a lot. Like, they were at my house a lot. Sometimes I'd sleep over at their house and watch them. I watched them a lot. Like, there was a time where their parents went on a vacation and I kept the girls for a whole weekend. So we were really, really close, and I love those girls. Like, I love them. And I think it was the beginning of 2021. This always makes me cry. Oh my gosh. Their mom told me they were moving back to Michigan, and that's where their family lives, and I've talked about this before. So it was great that they moved back. They get to be with their cousins, their grandparents, whatever. Everybody's over there, and it's great. And it was just like heart-wrenching though that they moved. And Chatham had a friend, I think 2 years before that. She like knew this girl from like preschool, I think, and they were like best friends all the way up until, I'm not sure what grade it was when they moved, maybe 3rd or 4th grade. I don't know, maybe 4th grade. I can't remember how old they were whenever she moved, but Chatham's like best friend moved to Michigan in the same exact area. So we've gone there. This will be our 3rd time going. This will be our 5th road trip. Chatham and I have gone to 2 Once Upon a Time conventions. I know that makes me sound like a nerd, but one of my favorite shows is Once Upon a Time, and like I was really obsessed with it. And Chatham would come watch it with me, and I would have friends over to watch episodes on like Sundays when they aired. But me and Chatham went to 2 Once Upon a Time conventions in New Jersey in 2018 and 2019, and then we didn't go anywhere in 2020 because of COVID. And then we went to Michigan in November of 2021. We surprised her friend for her birthday. And then we visited my daycare family, and Chatham was really close with my daycare girls too. So we visited them in November of 2021, and then in August of last year we went. And so this will be Chatham and I's 5th road trip, and we always like have a playlist and we just have a good time. So I'm super excited. We're gonna go again. That'll be the first weekend in August we're gonna go, and I'm super excited. I was, so the last 2 times we went to visit, we surprised the girls. We just rode in the car when their mom went to pick them up from daycare, and we just, like, they had no idea we were coming, and we surprised them. And they FaceTimed me on my birthday. So the little girl was like asking if I was gonna come visit. I was like, I don't know, we'll have to see. And her mom told me that at least 2 to 3 times a week she will, like, her mom will pick her up from daycare. She'll be like, are Chatham and Abby in the car? Are they in the car? And she has to be like, no, they're not in the car. Like, I promise you they're not here. So I feel like she has, like, not anxiety, but she's always, like, wondering if we're coming. So I told her on the video, I was like, listen, I promise we will tell you when we're coming. We won't surprise you again. I don't want her to be, like, anxious about us coming. So I promised her we would tell her. It was funny, I'll tell you this story. I know this is, like, really long ramble, but the first time we went out there to visit them in Michigan, she had randomly FaceTimed me the day before. I put my number in her iPad that she has, so she can FaceTime me anytime she wants. And her little sister actually FaceTimed me last week, which is funny. She FaceTimed me the night before, and I was like literally packing to come see her. And she's like, I miss you, I want you to come here. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I was like, maybe soon. And then like literally the next day I was there, which I just thought that was really funny. So yeah, that's my only plan. Sorry, that was a long ramble, but my only summer vacation plan is to go to Michigan and visit with my friends. So yeah, and maybe DC, we'll see, I don't know. But yeah, that was my last question. So I hope this video was entertaining. If you guys want to do another one of these, like, ask me, yeah, anything. I got a lot of daycare questions. I feel like a lot of people ask the same type of questions, so I just kind of formulated them together. So if I didn't get your question or I missed it, I'm really sorry. But we could do another one of these if this video does well, or if you guys are interested. If you ask me like different questions and stuff, whatever, I don't know, let me know. But my camera's gonna die, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and press that subscribe button if you haven't already. All those things really do help out my channel. If you want to see more content from me, you can find me over on TikTok and Instagram. Yeah, and I hope this video went well and I got some good content for you. So I'll see you next time. Bye.